Hello everyone, Siren here. I'm back with a brand new gameplay commentary video. And today's commentary is on, yet again, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Amazon's disastrous woke TV show. If you're not, please hit that like, subscribe button, and share the video. Uh, but let's get into the article. The article from Bounty into Comics will be down below as well. The article says the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power showrunner explains why they decide to ignore Tolkien's writing and depict their own creation of Mordor because they don't like what Tolkien wrote. Instead of writing what he wrote, they want to decide what they write. They want to basically write their own story. Um, Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power. Patrick McKay explains why he in the Prime Video decided to ignore J.J.R. Tolkien's writing and depict their own creation of Mordor because they're lazy. Um, McKay spoke to The Hollywood Reporter about the show's sixth episode that showed the orcs dug a giant tunnel into the heart of a volcano, and the tunnel was then filled with water after a dam broke, and after a massive flood of water that made contact with the burning hot lava created an explosion that destroyed much of the surrounding lands covered in ash. I call BS on that, but anyway, uh, by the show's eighth and final episode of the season, Halbrand is revealed to be Sauron, and Mordor is shown to be covered and Mount Doom is still blowing out smoke, lava pouring down on the sides. Yeah, the reason why they want to do this is because they ignore it and want to write their own and inject identity politics and the woke BS into their show. McKay explains the scene, saying that a huge theme of Tolkien's environmentalism and the way the machines and industrialization destroyed the land. We wanted that to be the central core of all the time. It's it's a thing that comes up again and again throughout the show. Then he revealed, so the writer's room asked, what if Mordor was beautiful? And all look like Switzerland, and then what could happen? What could happen? What could transform it? We talked about the poisoning of the land, which starts in the first episode with the cow. Then you find out the tunnels being dug and sulfur going up into the air, and all the builds towards the geographically realistic way of igniting the mountain now, which now blacks out the sky for every particular reason. Adar, our villain, sees the orcs and his people, and they deserve a home where the sun doesn't torment them. We were hoping it will take people by surprise, he related. Oh, it got in surprise, all right, but not the one you were hoping for. Um, However, this is not how Mordor came about. In fact, the land was not idyllic or bucolic like Switzerland. It repeatedly been hammered by the Europeans of Mount Doom over the years. Thus, the desolated readers and viewers of Rings of Power know in the people of Middle Earth. Christopher Tolkien writes in its notes the section of the book where the name Mordor was maybe already an Elvish name for the region because of its volcanoes and Oredim. Oredim. Sorry, I can't pronounce these. And its eruptions, which were not made by Sauron, but were relics of the devastation works of Molkar. in the First Age, Malachor. In the Silmarillion, Tolkien details that Sauron made Mordor his home because of the volcanoes. He wrote, "There above the valley of Gorag, Goragoth was built his fortress, vast and strong, Barbador." So as I said, I can't pronounce these words. The Dark Tower, and there was a fury mountain in the land, and the elves named it Ordem, Ordrim. Indeed, and indeed, for the reason Sauron had set there as new dwelling long before he used it, the fire that welled there from the heart of the earth, in his sorceries, and the forging, in in the midst of the land of Mordor, he fashioned the ruling ring. Yeah, I'm not particular. I mean, I've watched the films. It was kind of hard to follow. Uh, not only not only that this noted in the people. I don't. Not only this is noted in the peoples of the Middle Earth and the Silmarillion, but a letter 131 to Milton Waldman, and J.J.R. Tolkien also notes how Sauron's original intentions is to stay in Middle Earth, where fear and those intentions were reorganizing and rehabilitation of the ruin of the Middle Earth. Tolkien wrote to Whalen that the Silmarillion tales of the First Age Sauron was a beginning of Valinor to revenge, to serve the enemy, and becoming his chief captain and servant. He repents in fear and when the first enemy utterly defeats him, but in the end does not do as was commanded and return judgment of the gods. He lingers in Little Earth, very slowly beginning with bare motives and reorganizing the rehabilitation of the ruin of Middle Earth and neglected by the gods. He became a reincarnation of evil and thus lusting for complete power and consumed over more fiercely with hate, especially the gods of and the elves. So yeah, that's basically his backstory. It wasn't enough that the name Mordor literally translates to Black Land. Yep, the orc named Adar and his followers did not dig a tunnel into the volcano that then released the dam of water that created the eruption of Mount Doom. The rings of power falsely depict it instead of volcano eruption or a relic that devastated the work of Molgar. And in the long First Age, the land was already the Black Land due to the volcano's eruption. Yep. And Sauron chose this location of his base of operation because the volcano had the fires that dwell there. hmm And what do you and what do you says what do you make of Patrick McKay's explanation as to why they decided to depict Adar and the orcs creating the eruption of Mount Doom, thus creating Mordor in the Second Age? Eh, Yeah, so when it comes down to this, uh, we all know this that Amazon and the writers of the Lord of the Rings universe did not like Tolkien. They apparently spit on his grave when they decided to write this woke trash garbage series. It's going to fail next season. Uh, it's not that great of a story, to be honest. It's not. No one's liking it. Everyone's hating it. Uh, what else can I say? But a next Lord of the Rings uh, article, apparently rumor. Prime Video's Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Ugh, I hate the Rings of Power. The Rings of Power would introduce Tom Bombadil in season two. Huh. A new revelation is that Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, will introduce Tom Bombadil as in the second season. This rumor comes from the One Ring.net, a source of Green Dragon gossip, during a live stream on the One Ring's YouTube channel, where Justin Silva claims that the Green Dragon gossip informed him that the show has casted and filmed the scenes with Tom Bombo Bomb Battle Bombadil. So stated that they spotted on the set who was the actor in dialogue who being called Tom and showed him the host Cliff Quickbeam Broadway questions. Do you think that that's a possible Tom B, I'm gonna call him B, becoming a visit to the show? Swell answered yes, 100% Tom B, and that's what they're saying, that Tom B has been casted and will show up in season 2. Yikes. For those who are unfamiliar with Tom B, Tolkien introduces him as the Fellowship of the Rings. After Merry Pippin get caught in the willow tree, uh, B is able to free both of them, then proceeds to invite them to his home, where his wife, Goldberry, has prepared a table laden with yellow cream, honeycombs, and white bread and butter. When asked by Frodo who is Tom B, Goldberry tells Frodo he is he is. She then explained that he is as you see him. He is the master of the woods, water, and hills. However, the land does not belong to him. Goldberry tells the hobbits when asked, no, indeed, but would indeed be burdened. The trees and the grasses and all things growing are living in the land, belonging to themselves. Tom B is the master. No one has ever caught old Tom waking in the forest, wading in the water, sleeping on the hilltops under the light shadows. So yeah, he's going to be in the next season. But let's see. Yeah, all these will also be in the description as well, as I mentioned. Final articles Wizard on the Coast. Yes. So, uh, Wizards of the Coast at least 5 unannounced games, including 2 titles in the Dungeon Dragon series. Wizards of the Coast have cancelled at least 5 unannounced games, and 2 of which being titles in the Dungeons and Dragons series. Sorry about that, I'm drinking water. Uh, Reportedly, indie studios such as The Other Side Entertainment and Hidden Path Entertainment have now had their projects cancelled. It should be noted that there is no notice on the nature of all the cancelled titles, but Dungeons and Dragons does appear in what we do know. Currently, we're working on a an open world third person single player RPG set in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. Statement on Hidden Path project jobs, wherein in developers are still mentioning the D&D project. Okay, I'll be interested in that. Uh, Reports other side to entertainment working on the game is set in the Forgotten Realms universe. Tekken Games, acquired by Wizards of the Coast in 2019, were also reportedly working on a new title, where there has been no news of the launch of Dungeons & Dragons Dark Lines. An announced game codenamed Jabberwocky was being developed by one of the Wizards of the Coast's own studios, while the other two titles were extern- external studios that were reportedly only on the early stages of development were also canned. Wow, just wow. Uh, a Wizards of the Coast spokesperson told Bloomberg that less than 15 people would be losing jobs due to the recent cancellations, pointing out, however, that these employees would be given the option to apply for new roles within the company. Many studios, the sportsbook instead, Wizards of the Coast is still committing to using our digital games, noting that the company made some changes to our long-term portfolio, focusing on the games which are strategically aligned to the development of existing brands, those in which the show promise is expanding or engaging the audience in new ways. Yeah, basically they got rid of it because, I mean, Wizards of the Coast isn't doing so great right now. They're ruining it. Uh, but with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Uh, as I said, all the links for this video will be down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Siren is out of here.